Okay, for today's exercises, we're going to be learning about Venn diagrams. Now, this picture on the board right now, this is what a Venn diagram looks like. I'm sure we've seen them before in previous years. Today, we'll get practice at using some fancy probability language. So you'll see some new terms that you might not have seen before today, some new symbols, I should say, that you might not have seen before. But the purpose of this first part is to learn how to use these symbols and then to learn how to draw Venn diagrams. So what we've got here is an example. I've just picked two random letters, A and B. Let's pretend they stand for apples and bananas. The purpose of a Venn diagram is to compare two different things and see what they have in common. So this diagram, in here, I would write the number of people that brought an apple to school. And then in here, I would write the number of people that brought a banana to school. In this middle part here, the overlapping part, I would write the number of people who brought an apple and a banana to school. That's what number goes in the information here. There's even some space on the outside here. Out here, I would write the number of people that didn't bring either one. So they might have brought an orange, but that doesn't matter. For the purpose of this diagram, I'm writing down here anyone who didn't bring an apple or a banana to school. So think of it like that as we work through. I'm also going to ask you that whenever you draw one, to put this little thing, it looks like an E in the top corner. I want you to get in the habit of drawing that little symbol there as well, because I'll show you what it means a bit later on, but make that part of routine whenever you draw a Venn diagram. All right, I'm going to ask you to draw 6 of these, 6 Venn diagrams that look just like this in your book. Make them big enough to do some colouring in or some shading. We're not using any numbers yet. So make them big enough to do some colouring and shading, and I would say leave 3 lines underneath each one. You can put 2 or 3 next to each other if you've got the space, but I want you to pause it now and draw 6 of these. I'm going to help you with what to fill in for each one in a second. Go. Okay, underneath the first one that you've drawn, I want you to write this, A and B. What I'm asking you is, with a different colour, I want you to colour in what part of the Venn diagram would be for people who brought an apple and a banana to school. Colour in which part of the Venn diagram would be the people who brought an apple and a banana to school. So pause it now, colour it in, and then see if it matches my colouring. If you coloured in the overlapping middle part, then your answer is correct. This middle overlapping part is everyone who had an apple and a banana at school. Now here's the fancy language I want you to learn. Maths loves shortcuts. Maths loves any shortcut it can find. So we don't have the time to write the word and. So a shortcut for maths is, and we'll put it in brackets, they'll still say an A, but instead of writing the word and, they use this symbol. It looks a bit like an A for and anyway, like that. I want you to write that underneath, because that, it should be even, that is what you're probably going to start seeing in the questions. Okay, I'll wipe this and give you a clean one. You can do your next one. Okay, underneath the second one that you've drawn, I would now like you to colour in A. That means I want you to colour in everyone who brought an apple to school. Get your different colour, I'll do it in green, and colour in A. That is everyone who brought an apple to school. Go. If you've done it correctly, it should look like this. You need all of this part, because everyone in here, they brought an apple to school. But don't forget, colour in the middle part too. They brought an apple and a banana to school. But they still had an apple, didn't they? I said everyone that's got an apple. So if you see probability say, find A, or how many are in A, you need to look at everyone in this circle here. That's saying everyone who had an apple. That means that whole circle. No fancy language there. Let's do the next one. The next one is asking for A or B. So you need to colour in everything that is A or B. Now listen and think about it carefully. Colour in everything that is A or B. In our example, in context, colour in everyone that had an apple or a banana at school. Go. It should look like this. Now, a common mistake here, and I'm guessing quite a few of you did it too, is students do not colour in the middle part. But the question was, Everyone that had an apple or a banana. Did the people in the middle have an apple or a banana? They definitely did. They had both actually. But all this question said is everyone that's got an apple or a banana. They all had an apple, they all had a banana. Well, they had both, but they still had either one. So you have to colour in the middle as well. Please make sure your diagram looks like that. Again, for some fancy language, we haven't got the time to write the word or. We need a shortcut. We love a shortcut in maths. So instead of writing apple or, there's a symbol that looks like the letter U. That is the shortcut that we use, and that means or. That's what you'll start seeing in the questions, so make sure it's in your notes. Next one. The next one I want you to colour in is A and not B. So in your diagram, I want you to colour in everything that is A and not B. That means everyone that had an apple and not a banana. Had an apple and not had a banana. Press pause, colour that in. Here's what your colouring in should look like. You've got everyone that had an apple, that's this circle here, but do not colour in the middle because they had a banana. If they're in the overlapping part, they had both. So it says did not have a banana. So that's what your colouring in should look like. Again, we want a shortcut. We don't want to write and not. We want a shortcut. Put it in brackets. Apple. We know the word for and. It was in the very first one we did. So have a look back. You could probably already see that the word for and, it's this thing there, that little symbol. And then there's even a shortcut for not. If you put a little apostrophe like that, that means not in the world of probability. So that says apple and not banana. So write down that little shortcut as well. We want to be able to use that from now on. And I'll give you the next one. The next one is not A. So now I want you to colour in everyone that did not have an apple. Colour in everyone that did not have an apple. Go. Here is what it should look like. When I said not apple, it's everything that is not the A circle. Everyone that did not have an apple. Well, definitely it's these banana people because they just had a banana. Don't colour in the middle because it's part of that A circle as well. And then don't forget the outside. That's also not part of the A circle. There could be some people on the outside here that had no apple and no banana. Well, they did not have an apple, so it still counts. We need to use our shortcut language again. We already know the word for not, so you might be able to write this down before I can. Not A in the shortcut version is written like that. Put it in brackets if you want to. Here's the last one. The last one says not A and not B. That means colour in everyone that did not have an apple and did not have a banana. So it's both, it's two conditions there. Everyone that had not apple and not banana. Go. This is what you should have coloured in. Not apple and not banana. You can't colour in the A circle and you can't colour in the B circle. That's what this is saying. That means you can only colour in the space around the outside. Again, we can use some shortcut language here. See if you can work out what it is before me. You know how to say not A, you know how to say not B, and you know the fancy word for and. See if you can put that together, and if so, it'll look like this. Like that. Not A and not B. All right, I'll wipe this off. We're going to have practice at drawing two Venn diagrams now. Okay, have a look at this information as it comes up on your screen, and then together we're going to make it into a Venn diagram. I did a survey of students asking them if they played soccer or footy. Now, I'm sure they play lots of other sports as well, but for the purpose of this survey, I was only interested in those two sports. So I don't care if they play basketball or cricket or anything else. I'm only asking them about soccer and football. Start by drawing a Venn diagram of what it would look like if you are doing a survey on soccer and football. You're going to need two circles. Choose what letter to put inside each circle and draw the box around the outside. Set up your Venn diagram now. Okay, if you remember, put that little E symbol in the circle as well, meaning universal set. Think of it as an E for everything, if you like. Now you need to choose two letters to put in here. We won't use A and B anymore because that doesn't make sense for this example. Pick two letters. I'm guessing you've picked S for soccer and F for football. Here's your Venn diagram. Now, I'll put the information up on the screen that you need to know, and then we'll try and put it in the right spots. Wait for all the information to come up first, then I'll give you a chance to try and fill it in. From the survey, 3 students played soccer and football. You know what? See if you can put that in the right spot now. Press pause if you need to. Put that 3 in the right spot. 3 students played soccer and football. They played both sports. Put that in the right spot, and now I'll show you that if you did it correctly, it should go here. But try and do it before me, please. Just there. There are the 3 students that played both. The next thing I want you to fill in, do it before me, 6 students only played soccer. 6 students only played soccer. Put that in your diagram now as well. Pause it if you need to. 6 students only played soccer. It goes there. And be careful, I'm going to try and trick you here. Altogether, there are 12 students who played football. Do not put a 12 there because that's too many footballers. Don't forget about this middle part. So that's wrong what I've done there. I'm telling you that altogether there need to be 12 footballers. Look at the F circle. There's already 3 footballers here. Altogether there need to be 12 footballers. Work out what number goes there. Press pause if you need to. The correct number that should go in this circle is a 9. Because now, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are our 12 footballers. And of the students I surveyed, 2 students said they played neither of those 2 sports. So put a 2 where it needs to go. 2 students played neither sport. Now, it can go anywhere on the outside, but traditionally we put it in the bottom right corner. So as long as you put a 2 on the outside somewhere, that's fine, but normally it goes in the bottom right corner. All right, that's your Venn diagram. Now, I'm going to ask you some probabilities. I'm going to put some questions up on the side that I want you to try and answer. I've used our fancy new language here, so we need to know what those symbols are in the diagrams that we drew before. That may help you. You need to write down a fraction next to each one. So here I've asked you, what's the probability that they play soccer and football? Have a look. You'll need to know how many students I surveyed altogether. That's a really important number because that's going to be the bottom number of your fraction. Tell me how many students played soccer and football as a fraction. Look back to last lesson's work if you've forgotten how to write your fractions and use your diagrams to help you. See if you can answer all of these. Here are your answers. Probability they played soccer and football. If you look at your colouring in, that's the middle part of the Venn diagram here. Well, there's a 3 in there. 3 out of, if you add all these numbers up, it equals 20. That means I surveyed 20 people. So 3 out of 20 people play soccer and football. Next one says, what's your chances they'll play soccer? You need to look at the whole S circle. Look at your colouring in from the diagrams before if you're not sure. That means look at the whole S circle. That's the whole S circle here. There's 6 here, and there's 3 here that are still in the S circle. Well, 6 plus 3 is 9, so that's where that comes from. The next 2, I've had to simplify my fractions. You might have forgotten that, but remember from now on, always chuck your answer in the calculator and press enter, and it will simplify it for you. This says they played soccer and not football. Well, that's these 6 here. They play soccer, but they do not play football because they're not in the F circle. So 6 out of 20. The last one says they do not play football. So that means count everything that is not in the F circle. So here's the F circle. Don't count the 9, don't count the 3. Count everything that's not in the F circle. That's the 6 and the 2. There's your 8 and it's simplified. One more example. Okay, this time I'm going to give you all the information that you need. You might want to write it down as it comes up on the screen because then you're going to have to draw your own Venn diagram. Let me give you a clue. The order that it comes up is not always the best order to fill it in. So here's the information that you need. I did a survey on people about what they like on their pizzas. I surveyed 30 people. Now that's very, very important. You'll see why at the end. I surveyed 30 people. 11 of them said they like mushrooms on their pizza. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them, but they said they like mushrooms on their pizza. 14 people said they like pineapple on their pizza. Fair enough. They like pineapple on their pizza. And 4 people said they like putting both on their pizza. They like putting both mushrooms and pineapple on their pizza. So here's our information. I want you to start by, so write that down, pause it and write it down because it's going to disappear. Write that information down, and then underneath it, draw your Venn diagram. You're going to have 2 circles again. Decide what letters to put inside each circle, and then we'll try to fill it in. Here's my Venn diagram. I've chosen the letters M for mushrooms and P for pineapple. Yours should look the same. Now here is the trick to filling it in. You've got all that information written down that you need. This rule applies every single time you're doing a Venn diagram, and that is we always fill from the inside and then we work outwards. That means always fill in the overlapping part first, always. Now that wasn't the first bit of information that I told you. In fact, it was the last bit of information that I told you. But that's what you need to fill in first. You always fill in this part first, then try and fill in these circles, then fill in whatever's left on the outside. That's a golden rule, and you might want to write that down in your notes. We always work from the inside or fill in the overlapping part first, and then we work outwards. So let's start. Work out what number needs to go in the middle based on the information that I gave you. Press pause, do that now. From the information that was given, a 4 should go in the middle because I said to you that 4 people like both toppings. 4 people like mushrooms and pineapple on their pizza. So that's what goes in the middle. Then let's do the mushrooms one now. I said to you 11 people like mushrooms on their pizza. Do not put an 11 in there. If you do that, right now you've got 15 people in the mushrooms circle. That's not what you want. You want a total of 11 people that like mushrooms on their pizza. Work out what number needs to go in there. It's a 7, because if you add up 7 and 4, now you've got a total of 11 people that want mushrooms on their pizza. Pineapple. There were 14 people that said they like pineapple on their pizza. Do not put a 14 in this circle here. You need a total of 14 people that like pineapple on their pizza. That's how these questions will always be worded. It'll say 14 people like pineapple, but you need to remember there are going to be some that you've already accounted for in the middle. Pause it, write what number should go in that P circle so that you have a total of 14 people that like pineapple. 10 is the magic number that goes in there, because if you add up the numbers in the P circle, it equals 14. Now that's it. That's all the information that I gave you, but you are not finished, because look at the very first thing that I said to you. That's important. I said I surveyed 30 people. Add up these numbers. That's not 30 people. That's only 21 people. See if you can work out. There's one more thing that you need to do. I surveyed 30 people, but I've only got 21 people so far. See if you can work out what has to happen to finish off your diagram. If you put a 9 on the outside there, that's correct. That means that there are 9 people that don't like mushrooms or pineapple on their pizza. Smart people, I would say. But that's where they need to go. They like other things on their pizza, but we don't care about the other things. We're only surveying about mushrooms and pineapple here. So that's what your completed diagram should look like. Just like before, I'm going to give you 4 more little questions using probability language, and I want you to try and answer them, then we're done. Okay, pause it so you can see these 4 questions. I'd like you to use your knowledge of the language to try and find the probabilities. You've got to write a fraction next to each one. Simplify your fractions if you can, and we'll come back to correct. And there are your final answers. Probability that they like mushrooms or pineapple. That's everyone in the circles. Look at you colouring in from the start of the video. That had all the circles coloured in. 21 over 30, simplify it. Probability they like pineapple on their pizza. Count up everyone in the P circle. It's here and here. Simplify it. Not mushrooms and not pineapple. That means the outside people. Neither. Last one, pineapple and not mushrooms. That's only this circle here. They like pineapple, but they do not like mushrooms. Okay, you can now complete today's questions.